China's reform and opening up that began in the late 1970s has not only transformed the country, but also created an economic miracle. Since Xi Jinping became China's top leader in 2012, China's reform has entered a new phase. Marked by the third plenary session of the 18th Communist Party of China Central Committee in November 2013, Xi has led China into an era of comprehensively deepening reform. Welcome to Xictionary. In this edition, we'll explore comprehensively deepening reform, a strategy pivotal to China's development in the new era.
To delve into the topic, comprehensively deepening reform, it is essential to reference the third plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee convened in 2013. During the session, President Xi listed a series of challenges for China's further development, including corruption, unsustainable development, and environmental issues. He stressed that the key to addressing these problems lies in deepening reform. The plenum adopted a decision on major issues concerning comprehensively deepening reforms. The document focuses on 6 major reform themes: economy, politics, culture, society, ecological civilization, and party building. It covers 15 areas and includes 60 specific tasks, ranging from establishing fair, open, and transparent market rules to widening investment access, and from improving property rights protection to boosting the judicial system to better protect human rights. The blueprint for deepening reform garnered worldwide attention. Some Western media outlets commented that Xi had initiated the most profound economic, social, and administrative reforms in China in over 30 years.
So what is comprehensively deepening reform? Why did Xi decide to initiate this strategy? And how do the reforms led by Xi differ from those that started more than 40 years ago?
President Xi said that comprehensively deepening reform means advancing reforms across all sectors in a coordinated manner. Highlighting that comprehensively deepening reform in the country is a complicated and systematic project, Xi noted piecemeal adjustments or fragmented fixes will not suffice. He underscored the necessity of comprehensive and systematic reforms and improvements, which require coordination and integration across various fields. As Xi personally led and promoted comprehensively deepening reform in the country, some Western media have referred to it as Xi's reforms. The scope, scale, and intensity of these reforms are unprecedented. Xi, the architect of comprehensively deepening reform, has taken on the same mission of modernizing China as Deng Xiaoping, who initiated the country's reform and opening up. However, the backdrops for their reforms have been quite different. When Deng launched the reform and opening up drive in the late 1970s, China's per capita GDP was only about $200. His push for reform started almost from scratch. In 2012, when Xi assumed the party's top post, China had become the world's second largest economy, with a per capita GDP of over $6,000. The country's reform entered what many people call a deep water zone, as it faced developmental bottlenecks and growing pains. These challenges encompassed widening income disparities and imbalances between economic and social development, as well as disparities among different regions. The country also grappled with scarce natural resources, severe environmental pollution, and widespread corruption. To address various challenges, Xi has developed a methodology for reform in the new era, which stresses properly handling the relationships between emancipating the mind and seeking truth from facts, between advancing as a whole and making breakthroughs in key areas, between top-level design and crossing the river by feeling the stones, between being bold and maintaining a steady pace, and among reform, development, and stability, The overall goal of comprehensively deepening reform is to improve and develop the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics and modernize Chinese system and capacity for governance.
In the past few decades living in China, especially since 2012, I've seen remarkable changes in the country. The air has become cleaner, and the quality of life has significantly improved. There are now millions of China-made new energy vehicles on the roads. And I've also noticed from the news that the government is becoming increasingly transparent and efficient.
These are my first-hand impressions of comprehensive deepening reform in China, and these achievements have been attained through hard work. Over the past decade or so, more than 2,000 reform measures have been rolled out, enabling the country to eliminate extreme poverty, promote integrated urban-rural development, fight corruption, support businesses, boost innovation, and push forward a green revolution. With the reform measures, the Chinese economy has not only sustained robust growth, but also more than doubled since 2012, cementing the country's global status as a major growth contributor. Moreover, China has formed the world's largest middle-income group of over 400 million people. The country has established the world's largest social security system, and the average life expectancy of its people has increased from 74.8 years to 78.2 years in a decade.
我们推进改革的根本目的是要让国家变得更加富强，让社会变得更加公平正义，让人民生活得更加美好。
Xi's vision of deepening reform also extends beyond national borders, offering more opportunities to the rest of the world. Under his helm, China has been making tenacious efforts to push for high-level institutional opening up. From the introduction of negative lists for foreign investment and cross-border trade in services to the promulgation of the Foreign Investment Law and the establishment of pilot-free trade zones, China is advancing with greater openness. Although some people preach the so-called decoupling from China, an increasingly open China has become a magnet for foreign companies looking for good investment and market opportunities.
From village party chief, mayor, governor, and all the way to the top leader of the country, Xi Jinping has always been a reform-minded man.
When he was sent to Liangjiahe village in Shanxi province to do farm labor at the age of 16, Xi managed to implement reform measures there, including introducing biogas, establishing a blacksmith shop, and opening a store selling daily necessities, with the aim of improving the livelihood of villagers. In the early 1980s, he initiated reform experiments in the impoverished county of Zhending, Hebei province, commencing with the rural land contract system trial, making Zhending the first county in Hebei to adopt this practice. Xi's reputation as a reformer was reinforced throughout his political career. While serving as party or government head in Xiamen, Ningde, and Fuzhou of Fujian province, Zhejiang province, and the municipality of Shanghai, he always adopted innovative reform strategies to tackle different sorts of challenges.
There's been some speculation among some Americans that China's reform process might be stagnating. I don't think so. Rather than stalling, I think China's reforms will gain even more momentum. According to what I saw and heard here in China, President Xi believes that continuous reform is essential for China to continue the Chinese miracle and achieve modernization.
President Xi reiterated the significance of reform at a group study session of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee early this year. Weeks later, at the two sessions, or the annual meetings of China's top legislature and political advisory body, he stressed the importance of deepening reforms in various sectors. Reform is the driving force for development, he said on many occasions during his domestic inspection tours. When hosting U.S. business, strategic, and academic communities in Beijing this spring, Xi said China is planning and implementing a series of major steps for comprehensively deepening reform and steadily fostering a market-oriented, law-based, and world-class business environment, adding that this will create broader development space for U.S. and other foreign businesses. Naturally, China's journey of deepening overall reform still has a long way to go. It is no easy task to effect change in the world's biggest developing country, with a population of 1.4 billion.
The highly anticipated third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee is about to convene. This milestone meeting is expected to focus on furthering comprehensively deepening reform and advancing Chinese modernization. How will China embark on a new journey of deepening its overall reform? What new opportunities will China's reforms bring to the world? We'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned.